Hello everybody, welcome to NorCal Slot Car Scene. Today I'm going to do something a little bit out of the ordinary for me. I'm going to be doing a product unboxing, more or less. I just got the brand new NSR McLaren, and this is the car I'm going to be running at Electric Dreams in a couple weeks at their GT race. So I thought I'd give you the unveiling and let you see what it is, and then go through some of the modifications that I'm going to do to make it race-worthy down at Electric Dreams. The first thing I noticed with this car is the wing is totally different. It's a standard GT wing, but it's rubber, so it's very flexible, and so that's just one less thing to break in terms of racing the car. So that's a great addition to this line of cars. The car I got is the yellow non-liveried car. They just came out. The liveried versions probably won't be available yet for a little bit, but there is a yellow, a red, a white, and a silver. So I chose the yellow. It's very easy to see on the track. Once you get the body off, it's pretty much normal NSR. Looks very much like the Mercedes. It uses a fixed guide. There's no drop arm like some of the other GT cars have. And you can see everything is standard NSR hardware. The Electric Dreams race is a spec motor class, so you have to run a stock 21.5 angle winder. So that's the car I bought. It's also available in a Sidewinder configuration, which may work better on some tracks, but the race I'm going to requires this motor configuration. Okay, now let's get to some of the modifications I'm going to make. When you look at the car, the first thing obviously is the magnet will come out. Magnets are not allowed for this racing. It's wood track racing, even though the track does have magnetic braid, so you definitely have to take the magnets out for this race. I'll be replacing the guide. I'm going to use the standard NSR wood guide. It's just a little bit deeper, and it also has a screw on it, so I can set the depth of the guide using spacers and be much more precise. So that's why I like the wood guide. The next thing I'm going to change is the front tires. I'm going to go to the zero grip front tires that NSR makes. Coating the front tires is not allowed in the rules at Electric Dreams, so I'm going to be using the zero grip NSR tires on the front with the stock wheels. In the back, I'm going to go to a little bit smaller wheel. I'm going to use the 16mm wheel instead of the standard 17 that comes in the car. Makes the tire a little bit more compliant or softer, and I think it works a little bit better. When I start the build, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change out the chassis. This is the white hard chassis. Hard chassis typically work better on wood tracks, non-magnet. So I've not tried the extra hard chassis, but in the past, the other cars I've used, Thunderslot and so on, the hard chassis works extremely well. Another thing that I'm going to change out in this car that we don't do in Northern California is hollow axles. So NSR makes hollow axles in the 55mm size, which is the correct size for this car. And so front and rear, we'll go 55mm axles. In the front, just like I did with my Thunderslot car, if you saw that video, is because the axle is about a gram lighter than the steel axle, I'm going to put a gram of weight in the front of the car just to offset the difference. So the car is going to weigh the same, but that 1mm of weight under the axle is going to be lowering the center of gravity, so it should improve the performance. In the back of the car, I'm going to be using that same hollow axle to lighten the weight. I'm also going to be using axle stoppers in the back instead of the traditional spacers. I think it gives it a little bit more flexibility. I can put these axle stoppers on the non-gear side and then change the gears without having to readjust everything because it stays the same. This axle stopper and the gear hold the axle in place. I don't have them right handy with me, but I will also be using ball bearings, which is allowed at the Electric Dreams race. I mentioned I was using ball bearings, and I did find them, and so you get these from Electric Dreams. They're Electric Dreams house brand, and you have to get, for this car, the double flanged ball bearings, so it mounts right into the motor pod. I'll probably be changing the gearing just a little bit because it's a pretty long straightaway in Electric Dreams, but I don't know what gear ratio I'm going to choose. So as for now, I'm just going to keep the stock angle winder gear in it and have a couple different ratios available when I start testing. For tires, I'm going to try the Evo Super Grips and see how they work. I'm also going to be using some of the tires that I used from my Thunderslot Can-Am car. They fit perfect on the NSR axles. They worked good at the last race, so I'm going to use those, as well as a couple of sets of NSR wheels mounted with 5206 Super Grips as well. The ride height, I haven't set this car up yet, but I'm going to assume it'll probably be no spacers in the front, rear tires true to right around 19mm, and that should give me around a 40 thousandths of an inch ride height, which seems just about perfect for these cars. That's pretty much it on the unveiling of the NSR McLaren. Hope to get everything together tonight or tomorrow and go testing this weekend. I've got my box of extra parts that I showed you, and I'll let you know how it goes. This is Jim Rose. Thanks for watching. This is NorCal Slot Car Scene.